For our history lesson today, year one, we're going to be looking at toys again, and we're going to be looking at Victorian toys as we're moving more into looking at the Victorians now for our history topic. Okay, so in your packs you'll have this reading sheet. What I want you to do is I want you to get this sheet out of your book. There are 107 words in total. I want you to have a go at reading these. Some you might get stuck on, and that's okay. You can ask a parent at home to help you. Have a go at reading this, and I want you to try and answer these 4 questions on the side. Okay, so what materials were Victorian toys made from? Can you find an adjective used to describe the poor family's toys? Why do you think children were lucky if they were bought cheap penny toys? And if you can number the sentence 1 to 3 to show what order they come in the story. Okay, I want you to have a go at that for your first activity for today's history lesson. So pause the video now and go and have a go at that for me. Superb, guys. Welcome back, and I hope the reading went really well. I hope you found it okay, not too tricky. What we will do is we'll go through the answers for that this afternoon. So the second part of our history lesson for today, we're going to be looking at old and new toys. So in your packs, you will have this sheet here, okay? I'm going to go onto a PowerPoint in a moment, which is going to give us some information about old and new toys. But our activity will be to cut all these toys out, to cut the boxes out with the toys, and I want you to organise them into whether they are an old toy or a new toy. So I'm just going to go to the PowerPoint now so we can get a bit more information before we attempt our activity. So here is our PowerPoint, and we're going to look at how our toys different from those in the past. So we're thinking about what toys we have now and what older generations and older people would have had when they were younger, especially looking back to the Victorian times, which is over 100 years ago. So how could we find out about toys from the past? Because we don't have them now. So how can we find out about them? We can ask our parents and grandparents or any other older people that we know by visiting museums. There's a Brighton Toy Museum that unfortunately we can't go to at the moment, but they have lots of old toys there. By searching and researching on the internet. By reading books that are set in a period of time that we want to learn about. So reading books that are based on Victorian times. Or just reading like we did earlier in the lesson. That can tell us some information about toys. Or by watching TV or films that are set in the period of time we want to learn about. Some older films, and we have a look at what children are playing with in those films. So what were toys like in the past? A bear, a rocking horse, a doll's house, a wooden toy boat, some tin cars, and a set of cups and saucers and a tea set. That's what it is, a tea suit. So any of these toys still popular today? Do you have any of these toys? I've seen some of you who've got teddy bears, but do you think the teddy bears were exactly the same in like 100 years ago? Do you think they were made out of the same materials? Here we have some difference. So we're going to look at the differences between old toys and new toys. So old toys, the materials that they used on this first line, wood, tin, lead, so it's like a type of metal, and china, so like glass. And new toys are made from plastic, foam, rubber, or nylon, which is a type of material. We look at the technology that they used to use in the old toys would be clockwork. So wind up toys, you'd have to wind your toy up to make it move. Whereas now the technology we have our iPads, don't we, and tablets. So we have speakers and screens. So how they were made. So the old toys were mostly made by hand. So people would make one toy at a time. But new toys are usually made in factories where they can get lots made very quickly. And were old toys safe? Well, they did have some sharp edges and were made of unsafe materials. Whereas now, there are strict rules in place, so our toys are very safe, so children can't get hurt. got some modern and old toys here. Can you pick out which 3 are old toys and which 3 are modern toys? I wonder. The remote control car is modern. The doll's house is an old toy. The robot is a modern toy. The rocking horse is an old toy. Games console, modern. And the train is an old toy. So now we've got some information about old and new toys. What I want you to have a go at is dividing these toys up into old and new. And don't write on your tables like I have, because people at home will not be very happy. Okay, so get yourself an old label and a new label, and what you can do is see if you can split the toys into old and new. So what toys would you have had if you were from the old times, so from a long time ago, and what toys do you have around today? So have a go at that, guys, and see if you can get the correct toys into the correct category. So depending on whether they are old or new. Oh, yes. Mr. Stillwell with skills, cup and ball skills. You get another one. 5 in a row. Yes. Well, I have a plastic cup and ball game here. In your packs, you have instructions to make your own cup and ball that you can play at home. So for our last little activity for today, we'll make our own cup and ball game that we can play at home. So you should have had in your packs a plastic cup and these instructions. I'm not going to follow these instructions precisely because I don't think you need to, but if you want to, you're more than welcome to. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a bit of string, so a bit of paper scrumpled up into like a ball, and some sellotape. I'm going to show you what to do now. So you need to grab some sellotape and you need to stick the end of your string to the ball so it's nice and secure around the ball. So it's on the end of your string, just like in a normal cup and ball. Okay, and then you need to do the other end of string. You need to tape that to the bottom of your cup. There we go. Simple as that. You have your own cup and ball game now. So you might want to make your string a bit shorter, but it looks exactly the same as the plastic one. But we have handmade our own toy. That's what they would have had to do a long time ago when in the olden times they wouldn't have had plastic cups. But they would have made these cup and balls out of wood. They would have had to hand make their own toys. And this would have been made in a factory. It's made out of plastic, so it's a bit harder to break as well. Okay, so now you've got your own cup and ball. See how many times you can get your ball into your cup without missing. A little bit of a competition. And maybe we'll have a go later on our Zoom meeting. You can show me. All right, guys. Hope you've had fun with our history lesson about toys today. And I'll see you later on. Bye-bye for now.